morning. Welcome. Welcome to our healing list event for patrons for February 2024. So, it's so nice. It's such a nice energy here. So I'm really feeling each month as I prepare to connect in with this particular healing event, the healing list event, I just kind of feel it's usually in the hours prior, so it's in the morning, the event. So when I get up, in the morning, I'm feeling on the theme, like feeling on the course, how this wants to go. Now, how do I feel on that? You might be someone that's like, how does she figure that out? How does she pick something and just go for it? How do I do that? Well, there's just something that interests me, and it is on my mind, let's say. So then and if there's not something on my mind, then I'll pull a card or two and sit with the energy of that. And just what I'm then doing is going about my morning. I'm brushing my teeth, I'm having breakfast, but other way around. I'm checking my email or whatever I'm doing my exercise, I'm watering my plants, I'm hanging out the washing, I'm doing things that I do before the event, which are kind of all, except this morning too, I unloaded meat because we got this, our sort of couple of monthly meat order. So I was, doing about 30 bags of bacon or whatever. And I'm thinking and I'm feeling, okay, what direction do I want to go? So I have been kind of sitting in this energy of patience and feeling a bit impatient, a bit restless on and off these last couple of days, just in myself. And when I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, sort of just putting out the question, sort of, what can our theme be? What direction can we go with this healing event today? And patience just popped in. It's very powerful, a very, very powerful energy and a very powerful force. So I just knew very clearly right then, yeah, patience, that sounds great. And so then once I figure out my theme, once I figure out the directive, sometimes I have clarity, like it drops in really strongly like that. Occasionally it doesn't, it's not quite so clear, so I might have a general idea. But patience dropped in very clearly. Last month's gratitude one dropped in very clearly too. So once the theme drops in clearly, then I need to then just feel, I like put my tentacles out and I feel different paths that we could take with this. Okay, if we were focusing on patience, how can I bring that into the event today? And how can I incorporate that with all the people on the healing list? So this is kind of the thing that I feel on. So the thing that felt really strong to me as I was preparing around the theme of patience was the drum, which I must say I haven't even tested it to make sure it's actually making any sound today, although I do have a spray bottle in here somewhere. So I'll just do a little tap, make sure that we've got good drum sound, otherwise I'll have to put it in the sun or put some water on it. Oh yeah, that's fine. So the drum called to me, and then I'm just going to go with the flow from that because I don't really know much else other than that. So I try and have a bit of a guide, and I also try and go with the flow a little bit as well, if that's helpful. So we have, actually, I don't know how many people have got on the healing list today. It's probably like 29, something like that. 29 or 30 people on the healing list. So I have you all printed out here. Oh, lovely. So thank you all for your support. Amazing. So I'll be connecting with you. And what I do is, what I'll be doing, or what I imagine when I'm saying your name, those of you on the healing list, is I imagine bringing you here into this space. So bringing you into this space. But let's first of all just explore patience a little bit. And, I think impatience, we can look at patience or we can look at impatience. So I wrote down a few little notes as well as I was just thinking about patience. And there's something reassuring about feeling patient. Like there's a confidence somehow in patience. When we're feeling patient with something that we're waiting on, for example, we might not even know that we're waiting on something because we feel so kind of trusting, I guess, in the flow of things that patience doesn't even come into the equation of our thought because it's just like, okay, I'll let that sort of brew over here while I focus on this over there. And then before you know it, this over here is the green light's on and we can go in that direction. That tends to be the way I kind of rock and roll in my life. Is I can tend to put things aside and focus on something else. I've got lots of things to do, so I'm not short of things to do. But I must say, the last couple of days, I have been tipping towards the bored feeling, which is weird because, you know, I can't really work in my studio. All my tools are packed up. I can't get into the exhibition that I've got starting next week because I'm so organised that the car's already loaded and we're not even leaving till Monday. So, you know, I'm just so well prepared, which is great. So I'm trying to be, okay, just enjoy the downtime. Just go do some cleaning, just do some exercise or something, you know, be okay to just stop and watch a few TV shows or something like this. So, you know, impatience doesn't really come about in my everyday life that often, but it is strong at the moment. So I feel it when I'm feeling patient, I feel a sense of reassurance, a sense of confidence. There is also, we could say, a resistance to haste. You know, I think if we're feeling impatient, we tend to want to push, we want to control, we want to get information, we want to get things happening now. So there is this sense of sort of pushing, maybe pushing something beyond its time or beyond its limit. Sometimes we can push so much that we push something away. So sometimes it's good to just realize when we're feeling antsy and we're feeling haste and we're feeling impatient and why we're feeling that. Sometimes I find there is something that just kicks up like this urgency and I need to take action on it now. And I don't know if that's necessarily impatience. I think impatience might be if something's not happening yet and we just keep trying to push at it. You know, so the door might be closed and it might just not be the right time yet, but we still feel impatient and we're just trying to push or find a way to open this door. When I feel like a flux of urgency, so I might be going about something and then, something just like sparks up and, okay, I've got to get this done now. And then I reach out and that was the right time. This door opens, that door opens. And there is this flow to things when it's the right time. But if it hits a brick wall or hits a closed door, then either it's a no or it's just not the right time yet. And it might not be quite the right time yet. We might want information. We might want to get going. We might want the answer, the yes or no. We might want the results, but we just don't have them yet. And I like to remind myself in that instance that, you know, no news is good news. So, you know, it's not a no, at least not yet, or the no news can potentially turn into good news because it's nothing at the moment. So there's no need to push. And I've also found, you know, in the past, you know, with quite famous kind of people in the spiritual world, let's say in Australia at least, when I've been at events where they've been, you know, it's interesting. You happen to be in a stall next to someone or, you know, and it just this overlap, this trust in perfect timing where you get to meet these influential people can be really interesting. So instead of trying to, you know, force my stall to be next to theirs, I didn't even give it thought and then just happened to be next to each other and then exchanges are made, which is really quite interesting too. So I think to me, if I'm not feeling patient, if I'm feeling impatient, I'm not trusting in perfect timing. And I have to be able to trust, like me, myself, maybe you can decide whether it works for you or not as well. But I have to be able to trust in perfect timing. And so the perfect timing of things is often out of my control and out of my hands. Although if I feel the urge, if I need to take action, I need to follow that. But also if I meet that closed door and if I meet it again and if I meet it again, I need to be patient. So we need to be patient sometimes. And I think too, in regards to patience, there's a sense of taking our time with things. You know, there might be something that we're just taking our time on, that there's no urgency, not at this moment anyway. And it's okay to slow down temporarily. You know, I'm such an active person, you know, I slow down for like 4 days in a row and I think I'm being lazy. And it's like, gosh, when did I have kind of 4 days off? And it's not like I'm not working and it's not like I'm not doing anything anyway. So it's just kind of funny. I think for me, I just get into this momentum of activity that and creativity that it feels so strange just to have several days in a row where I don't really have a lot to do. And also when we're feeling patient, we can feel like we're on the edge, you know, like on the edge of our seat, or on the front of our feet, on the front of our toes. So just a few things maybe to think about in regards to patience. So I'm not really sure exactly where we're going to go with this. Maybe you've been feeling impatient, and maybe it's good for all of us to take some time to stop and kind of ground ourselves and tap into that sense of patience and calm. And maybe patience might not be quite the right word for you at this time. Maybe you can turn the patience into something more like peace or calm or contentment or trust in the universe, trust in the body. Maybe it's a good time to ground. So maybe patience might not be the absolute best word for you at the moment. It's probably the best word for me personally. Maybe if it's not the best word, maybe there's something that you can consider that relates more specifically to how you currently feel as well. So my plan now moving forward is I'm going to pull a healing energy card. We'll talk about that for a little bit, whatever that is. Then I'm going to call you all forward, and then we'll do some drumming. That's where I want to flow at the moment. So unless something changes, that will be it. So take a nice big breath, and I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need as we flow forward so patiently from here. Feeling patience, not just saying, oh, I've got to feel more patient here, or pretending that we're patient when we're not. Let's really feel that word and that energy of patience and the anchoring feeling it has, the calm, grounded feeling. So the best card is this Healing Energy card, deck 2. And welcome everybody. We have this here, Unfolding Time. Actually, this is pretty funny. It's card 72. It's in the action category. And down here it says, a past event. Move out of the time locks of the past. Let things unfold, move and heal. And there is kind of a patience, a flow with that. And maybe not having patience when we're feeling impatient, we're not really flowing with things because we're trying to force something to happen that's not happening yet. So there's always plenty to do or plenty to focus on if we're not doing exactly what we want to be doing. So letting things unfold, letting things move, letting things heal. Release the hurt, see the bigger picture, and unlock yourself. Unlock yourself. This is unfolding time. This is very much about going with that flow. And so I think it's more about the future, isn't it? And impatience we might feel about the anticipation of what's coming up or that kind of thing. So it's very much kind of future path, I feel. I don't think it's really related to the past, because how can we be impatient about the past that's already happened? I don't think that would happen. So it's very much about the forward momentum from here. It's about moving forward. So unfolding time, unfolding. There is something too in that, isn't there? Like if we had, some Japanese paper all folded up and letting one little piece unfold after the other, and things have to unfold in the right order, don't they? We can't unfold this and then try and unfold this, which then rips the whole thing apart. So if we're prematurely, without even realizing it, because we can't see the bigger picture and we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, we don't know what's happening over there in someone else's life. We're waiting on their information or their news or their green light so that we can go. We don't know what's going on over there in their world. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So we have to trust that the paper, this folded paper, is opening up for us at the exact right time and order, revealing itself. Hi, Teala. Hi, Joanna. So we have to trust not only in perfect timing, but in the synchronicity of things and the opening and the closing of things, because sometimes things might open and something might close that then reveals something else. So there is a massive bigger picture element, behind the scenes perspective that's coming into with this sense of patience versus impatience. So we have to be able to trust in the bigger picture. We have to be able to trust in perfect timing and the synchronicity of things, the synchronization of things. So we're not trying to push against a door that's closed, because we're wasting our energy doing that, and we might be actually delaying something. There might be a delay that's put into place because we're not doing the other thing that we're supposed to be doing. So if we want or have this request or this desire for something and we put it out there as much as we can till we get the block, then we go and focus on something else and we let the universe kind of deal with that behind the scenes. We trust in the bigger picture and we're over here doing our other thing. And then maybe a week or 6 months later, something might open up from this other thing, or it might not open at all if it's not meant to. So they're trusting that everything is connected somehow, trusting in the bigger picture and trusting the unfolding of things is coming up. So what I'd like to do now is call you all forward, and then I'm going to do some drumming. And I just want to drum and not talk. This is like my third video in a row, so I feel like I'm just been talk for the last hour and a half. So I think I'm going to call you all forward, and then I'm just going to sit quietly with the drum, and I'll talk more about the drum in a minute. I'm just going to have a drink first. After all these videos, I'm a bit dry. So as I call your name, perhaps imagine something shifting or something awakening, something opening, perhaps, whatever it is that you need. You can trust in your body. Happening for you, especially in regards to this energy of patience versus impatience, if that's what you need, or replace it with another word if that's more relevant for you. So nice big breath. Okay, so now I'm imagining you all like just stepping into this space. Now I can feel you start preparing to do that. So Carol White calling you forward, Susan Sonsteng, Amanda Sanders, Nicki Mohler, Jane Corlett, Kanti Devi Wedad, Robin Hippler, Matthew Keith, Chelsea Keith, Rebecca Ross, Suzie Nicholls, Priscilla Kimboko, Bridget Mehrtens, Janice Chalmers, Joanna Levine, Kathleen Glen, Rayna Ortiz, Avril Daly, Pamela Florea, Nicole Wiggins, Kimberly Veness, Emily Fussell, Angela Fraser, Nicole E, Michele Burch, Anne-Marie Douglas, Allison, Joanne Monroe, Teala Smith, and Sylvia Barley. Welcome to you all. I sort of feel like I want to pin you back here. Actually, I might have some blue tack in my reach. So I'm going to grab some blue tack and pin you to the glass. So just give me a second. There you are in the sunshine in my studio. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to drum. So the drum, I've got a few drums. So the drum I picked, I guess, is significant, because otherwise I would have picked a different drum. This is a drum that I made, my Owl Guardian. I feel like it feels like it's watching over us and encouraging us to observe. At times we just need to observe. We don't need to act. But then at times we need to act. So it can be like a game, can't it? How can we figure out when to act, when to wait, when to push, when to stop, when to start, when to go, when to stop? I mean, this is part of that, oh gosh, how do we figure it out? And sometimes we feel so excited about something and we're trying to push, but we meet that closed door. So, like for me, I tend to be pretty well in the flow. So it's just these last few days for me, it feels a bit, I feel like a bit impatient, which is unusual. So, how can we figure that out? Maybe it's trusting in our intuition, really listening to what our heart's saying and what our intuition is calling from us, and trusting in that flow and that movement of the universe, the unfolding of things. So I'm going to drum. I'm not going to speak. I might even slow the drumming down at times to encourage you to really slow down your breathing and find that sense of patience and calm, and it's okay. Reassure yourself you're getting through it. Things are unfolding just as they need to. Everything is in perfect order. You are trusting in perfect timing. You're trusting in the bigger picture. All these things that really pull us back into that energy of patience. These sorts of things you might want to really consider as you're listening to the drum. Hi, Rayna. So I'm not going to talk. Take a deep breath. There's nothing you can do wrong. Just listen and enjoy the sound and energy of the drum. Beautiful. I trust you enjoyed the drum. You know, there is a sense of it being okay to slow down, being okay to do something else, being okay to be patient, being okay to be in our body and to be grounded and to trust in the universe and trust in the synchronization of things, to trust in perfect timing and trust in the unfolding of things. So, thank you very much. I'm going to pull a card to go. Sometimes I find, in fact often, when I find I talk things through quite a lot, which I feel like I've done in this particular video, I feel like there's a lot of mental healing that takes place. So a shift in attitude, a shift in our mind, our perspective kind of thing. So I feel like there's probably something potentially offered within this information, let's say, or the energy that you could potentially sit with and look at how you could shift and turn things around more mentally for you, especially in the patience versus impatience kind of energy. Okay, let's grab the best card to go. So what do we need to know from here as we move forward and focus on what's next? Oh, hello, we've got a visitor from Miss Puss. Okay. The best card for what's next for the majority of us is this. It's from the second deck. Oh, you want to come and say hello to our friends first? Come on then. Well, I can't reach you from there, so we'll wait. Is Release the Guilt, card 100. And it's in the depth category. This is very much, you know, releasing the burdens, the things that weigh us down, our push, our need to control, our push, our need to control. The looking back but forward idea is resonating a lot. I need to be patient and wait for clear guidance. And then the comment left. Yes, very interesting, Susie. Okay, releasing the guilt. Make a wrong right. Here's our friend, Miss Puss, enjoying, or she must have been waiting for the door to open. It says, make a wrong right, drop your burdens, let the hurt go. Correct a mistake you've made, apologise, take responsibility, own it to move forward. So this card's very much suggesting that there is something within our life where we're being pulled to go higher, to fly higher, to expand more, to be more, to live more. And yet there are burdens that we carry that actually weigh us down. It could be our own guilt about the past or our guilt about the present. It could be our own doubt, the pressure that we're putting on ourselves. Maybe we're way overthinking things and we're not going with that flow. And so if we're overthinking, we may be creating extra folds to that folded paper, if you like, that don't need to be there. So, you know, it's a real juggling act, isn't it? Figuring out when to go, when to not, when to act, when to rest, when to do this, when to do that. So how do we do that? I find for me, trusting in my body is a highly sensitive, finely tuned instrument, and I can trust it. So I can trust in its energy levels to be a part of that guide for me. I can trust in my intuition, and over the years I've developed a very strong trust in my intuition that I can trust that too. I also trust in the things that unfold, and I think actually my art has probably taught me a lot how to do that, because starting with a blank piece of paper or a big chunk of clay, and you've kind of just got to let it unfold itself. You can't be a perfectionist and have some perfect end result in mind. You got to just kind of let it happen. You got to let it flow. So there are a lot of factors to consider in regards to the confidence that we find in figuring out what to do right now. Where to act, or where to wait, or what we need to do. So this is very much about, there's a part of us that wants to fly, a part of us that wants to live more and be more. But what is weighing us down? Is it our impatience? Is it our push, our need to control? So something is weighing us down. If we were a bird trying to fly, we can't fly that high if we're carrying these big sandbags of burden and weight. So we need to clip those sandbags off so that we can take to flight. That's this card. So what do you need to release, and how can you do that over these next couple of days? How can you get this happening now so you can release your need to be in control, release your impatience, release the guilt, release the burdens, release the pressure that you're putting on yourself. So some things to think about. Hopefully something supports you from this and resonates with what you've got going on. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I'll be back again for our next Healing List event at the end of March. So I look forward to connecting with you then. If you are wanting to stay, or if you want to sign up, you can find the details in the video description. I think that's about all. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, and goodbye for now.